of the world, now I'm living. And the good just gets better, keeps on giving. Not even close to the end, it's just beginning. Life is getting lighter while the days are getting brighter, yeah.
Hi, it's Ann Perry, and today we're going to be talking about what can I expect in my personal year of 6. So this is the 6th video in a series of 9 that I've created for you that will be discussing what you can expect in a personal year of 6, but how can you get the best out of your personal year of 6 as well. Now, if you don't know what your personal year is, that's okay. At the very beginning of this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So if you want to stay tuned, learn a little bit more, I'd love it if you stick with us. All right, so first of all, we have to look at how do you calculate your personal year? Very simple, trust me, or I wouldn't be doing this. 2017, that's when I was recording this video. So we look at 2017, that's our universal year that we're all in. So we've got to reduce that to a single digit. So 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 7 equals 10. And we reduce that again, 1 plus 0 equals 1. So we know that 2017 is a 1 universal year. This is going to be quite an amazing year for many of us because the universal year of 1, it's like an extra boost of new beginning energy. So if you happen to be in a personal year of 1 under the influence of the universal year of 1, that's a kick-ass year. Like seriously, it doesn't get any better than that. But for those of us who are not in a personal year of 1, for example, I'm in a personal year of 2, which is all about partnerships and building relationships, that healthy dose of 1 energy is going to be really helpful for me to develop new relationships this year. And it's just influential in so many other ways as well. Very beneficial for each and every one of us, regardless of where we are in our epicycle. So if by chance you're interested in, what the heck was 2003 all about? All you're going to do is add 2 plus 0 plus 0 plus 3 equals 5, and that becomes your base point, right? That's your universal year that you're curious about. Maybe you're going through a rough time or whatever, and you're interested in flipping it back to see what the heck that was all about. So that's the way that you do it. So the next step you're going to do is figure out your month of birth and reduce that to a single digit. So in this case, I'm showing the month of October, which is the 10th month. So we're simply going to add 1 plus 0 equals 1, and that becomes your 1 month. Then you're going to take your day of birth and reduce that to a single digit. In this case, I'm showing the 29th day. 2 plus 9 equals 11. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Now, I know a lot of you out there are probably questioning, well, why did she reduce the master number? In this particular equation, that's what we do. We do reduce the master number 11 or 22 to a single digit. So now we're going to add up a reduced month to the reduced day to the reduced universal year. So 1 is for the month. Okay, that was for October up here. 2 is for the day, we reduced it to a 2, and 1 is from our universal year that we reduced to a 1. Now we're going to add 1 plus 2 plus 1 equals 4. So if that happened to be your date of birth, you are in a 4 personal year. Very simple. Okay, so what can we expect in a personal year of 6? Well, let's just review for a second. Last year you were in a personal year of 5. Lots of change going on. Shake it up, make it different. Probably did a bit of traveling. Probably had your share of unexpected interruptions. Things didn't quite roll out the way that maybe you thought they were going to, but if you were able to be adaptable and flexible, that you could kind of roll along with the changes a little bit, I'm sure that you did just fine. But in the fall of last year, if this is your personal year 6, in the fall of last year, you started moving away from the 5 energy because the 5 energy started getting diluted somewhat. Any one of these personal years begins January 1st and it rolls out over your calendar until about September, October when the energy gets weak. And then the new energy starts to come up over the threshold and gets you in tune with it, right? In touch with the vibration that's coming. So last fall that you probably felt like you were shifting out of that 5 energy in favor of moving into the 6 energy, which is exactly what happens. Bam, January 1st, you had a full cup of 6 energy. So what can we expect? Domestic drama. Oh my, I know, somebody has to be the messenger, guys, sorry. Okay, so if you want to call it domestic focus, go ahead, call it domestic focus, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, there's usually our share of domestic drama. So what does that mean, domestic drama? Domestic drama just simply means that it's a focus on your home, okay? So it can be a focus on the relationships in your home. It can be a focus on the actual physical dwelling of your home. You're going to find yourself torn in many different directions with the balls in the air, okay? So it's like you're doing this, right? When you look at the number 6, right, the 6 looks like this, okay? And the 6 has that round bottom. And when you take that round bottom and you sit it on a flat surface, what's it do? rocks, right? Rocks and rolls, right? It's trying to find center ground. It's trying to find its balance, okay? So when you're in a 6 personal year, you tend to have everybody pulling at you, saying everybody wants a piece of you, right? So I need you over here, I need you over there, and you're like, oh, I'm at work, and this is great, I'm at work, and I'm doing a good job, and it's all good, but my family really needs me at home, and so you go home, and it's like, oh, this is great, yeah, helping out with my family, but I really need to back at work, And so you're torn in several different directions, and it's your family that's pulling a piece of you apart. So maybe you're at an age group where your parents are starting to get older and they have health considerations and concerns. Maybe you're needing to consider new housing arrangements for them, that sort of thing. That's the kind of stuff that typically happens in a year of 6. So it's a year when you really need to strike a balance somewhere and not be pulled and torn in too many different directions all at the same time, because it will happen. It's just how you handle it will depend on the outcome. So you're going to find a lot more responsibility on your shoulders, especially as it relates to family. Now, it can be your personal family, it can be your immediate family, it can be your extended family, or it could be your work family. Either way, you're going to feel a need to be more responsible, more accountable. Last year was your year of freedom. Anything goes, shake it up, make it different. Let's go somewhere, let's travel, try different things. This year, it's like, nope, no time for that. I have to be very, very responsible. There might be some discussion around your physical home. You might be looking at your house going, you know what? This place is just too big for us now that the kids are gone. And now it's time for us to really look at moving on, trying to find something a little smaller. It's too big, it's too small, it's not in the right area, it's whatever. But you might be giving some consideration to moving from your home. You might also come to the conclusion that, hey, that roof that we've been avoiding and replacing, yeah, we really do need to do something about that this year. Doors, windows, roofs, that kind of thing. Quite common in a personal year of 6. You might even be looking at the geography that you're living in. You might say, it's time to move to a different country, a different province, whatever. But it could be a very physical focus on your home. Maybe it's renovation time. There's also a big focus on the marriage. Okay, so I tend to see if a marriage is starting to kind of crumble a little bit, I can usually see a pattern happening. Year 5 might be, there was that affair. Oh, did I forget to tell you about that? Unexpected event. And then the year 6 is focus on the home, focus on the marriage. Like, do I really want to be in this, right? And then when you move into your year 7, the 7 is the year of introspection. What do I want to do about this? Where do I see myself? Like, do I really want to be in this relationship? Year of 8 comes in considerations around the money, so settling it all out. And the year of 9, all about the endings, right? So I can typically see if a marriage or relationship is starting to fall apart, you can, or if it's already fallen apart, I can help a person track it back to about the year 5. Even the year 4, we can see a pattern happening before it actually dissolves completely. So how can we get the best from a personal year of 6? So you want to know when to jump in to help and when to stand back. That's, because there's this huge influence over you that says I must be responsible, you can control the impact of that by understanding what it is you're responsible for and what it is you're not, okay? I find one of the best ways to figure that out is if somebody's in need and I immediately go, oh my God, I can't even imagine how I would feel if I didn't step in to help. I'd hate myself if I didn't step in. Okay, pause on that note for a second. Let's back the bus up a bit and say, okay, if you can't imagine how you'd feel, you'd feel horrible, who are you trying to save here? Who are you trying to rescue, right? Who is it that you're trying to be responsible to? You might want to take a look at that again before you jump in, because really it might be you just can't stand feeling uncomfortable if you don't jump in. Well, again, maybe it's you that you're rescuing from the pain of not jumping in, okay? How you're going to feel if you don't jump in. So, as you're raising your kids, you might, you run into these situations. I know I certainly did. Sometimes jumping in to catch them before they fall isn't always the best idea. I mean, let's face it. Each one of us has come into the earth plane with our own soul's contract full of the lessons that we chose to learn. So if we're always jumping in front of the bus to protect people, they're not getting their lessons. And guess what, people? They're going to have to come back and do it again. So, you know what? We need to kind of examine how effective it is before we jump in. It's funny because I was watching a show last night, and we have a nature show in our area, and there's a rescue group for animals. and they had found this seal abandoned on the beach, and the seal had been there for 3 days, and it was very, very young. It was only, I don't know, a few weeks old or whatever. Eyes were open and all that, but it was there all by itself. Now, seals, as you know, typically travel in groups, right? God knows there's enough of them in my backyard, so just saying. But the thing with the seal is he had been left, right? And so the rescue people came in and rescued him, and they kept him for a few months, and they force-fed him, and they tubed him, and he was kept throwing up and whatnot. And in the end, they found out that he had a blockage. He had some gastrointestinal issue, and he had a blockage, so he just couldn't take on any more food. So could he have been kept alive for extended periods of time? Absolutely, if they kept tubing him. But what kind of life is that for a seal? The whole point of this whole thing is to rehabilitate them and put them back out in the wild. So I had to ask myself, did they do the right thing by rescuing this little guy? Because apparently, like in the animal kingdom, when there's an animal that's sick or whatever, their own parents will abandon them. Their own parents will leave them for a good reason. So, there's a good example. Is it really within the best interest of, in this case, the seal, to jump in to rescue him, where maybe it might have been kinder if he had not been rescued? So, something to think about. Just knowing when it's appropriate to step in and when it's really much better to step back, as hard as that is sometimes. So you really need to ask yourself throughout the course of the year of 6, is this really my responsibility? I can remember so many times in a year of 6 looking back on it, and it's like, you walk in, the kitchen's got dirty dishes all over the counter, and you're like, you know what? I am not the only person who dirties dishes, and I am not the only person who's capable of filling the dishwasher. That's the kind of crap that raises its ugly head in year 6. You just start realizing, hey, you know what? There's other people around here. This doesn't always have to fall on my shoulders, right? So we need to ask ourselves, what is really my responsibility, and why do I feel, sometimes being responsible is kind of self-serving. If you feel insecure in your life in any way, people with life path number 6 are notorious for taking everything on in the home. I'll do this. Oh, I'll do that. Oh, it's okay. You don't have to vacuum because I kind of do that better, so I'm just going to do that, right? So they take on all this stuff because it builds them up and makes them feel better, but then at the end of the day, they kind of feel resentful of the fact they've had to do it all. Rethink that. So you want to try and maintain balance in your life. Balance is so, so important because, the 6 is causing you to do this all the time. So you've got to somehow find middle ground where you're happy and they're happy and everybody's happy, right? And you want to be of service to other people willingly without being resentful around it. Because sometimes, again, you feel the need to be overly responsible when you're in a year of 6. And sometimes you need to step back and not take on so much responsibility to the point where you start feeling resentful, because then you're not really of any really good service and use to other people. So the 6 is always a good time to be of service to other people willingly without begrudgment. Be available to your family. Try really hard to be available to your family. And again, understanding that it's not always a good idea to jump in front of the bus to save them. Sometimes the kindest thing is to let them fall, right? As tough as that is. Ask my kids. So just be available to your family, be that your work family or your home family, and try not to harbor any kind of resentment. So there you go. There is the 6 personal year. So now I also want to mention that it's very important that we understand the vibration of the year that we're in, because you know what? We only get one opportunity in 9 years to harness the energy that the universe is giving us. Okay. So it's really good to know what you're in, because once you understand where you're at, you can get in touch with the rhythm. Okay. Because the universe is always about rhythm. It's always about give and take, ebb and tide, right? So 1 year they're going to give you energy to move forward, and you got to harness that because that's the year you got to move forward. But on those years that they bring you back, you got to know when to step back and rest and restore, because the next year they're going to throw you forward again. So in that 6 personal year, understand that you are going to be pulled. You're going to be stretched. It's okay. You just do what you can to get through it. But there is another number that's really important that you understand, and it comes from your full name on your birth certificate, and it's referred to as the essence number. So when we look at your numerology chart and we look at your essence number, I can tell you how you're going to go through that year. Okay, I can tell you what the influences are, and I can help you to understand the best way to get through it the most successful way possible, because there's always good stuff in every particular year. So I do offer professional readings. I do full readings, and I also do mini readings too. If you're just interested in the cycles that are affecting you, and what the heck was last year about, why am I where I'm at right now, and where the hell am I going next year, right? If you're a little stressed about that, you just want a little bit of direction, check out my website. They're all there, and I'd love to hear from you. I also have a Facebook page. I post on it every day. So if you want to learn a little bit more about numerology, I'm happy to be the teacher. And of course, I have my YouTube channel, for which I am so grateful that you have taken the time to watch this video. I'd love it if you would subscribe. I've got lots more videos coming, and it is absolutely my passion to share with you as much as I can about numerology. It speaks to me in a language that it just makes life make sense, and I just really, really am inspired to do the same for you. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope I'll see you in the next video. I hope that you'll subscribe to my channel and that you'll be becoming that numerology keener that I am. Okay? Thanks so much, guys. Hoping you're having a great day. Stay tuned for the next one. And thanks for your support. Really appreciate it. Take care. Bye now.